Hello, hello. Um, yeah, we're gonna do some factor and exorcism today. Uh, this is the next exercise I wanted to work on. Uh, Learning about errors. Error system of 3 pieces: throw, recover, and error. Any value. I feel like this is accidentally added to the actual markup. Um, there's a few things I want to actually improve on exorcism. So it's like line in the example. That's not supposed to render. But anyways, so you can throw a value. Throw does not return. Recover in continuations is catch, takes a try quotation and recover quotation. So throw boom, um, drop whatever the error was, push onto the stack caught, run with exception handling and print the result. Caught it. Drop never runs because nothing through. We just get what that was. Okay. Okay. Oh, I should have my chat open. The defines a tuple class and a word, the construction of fest instance. So there's like a tuple called not found that is also an error with a slot called path. Yeah. Okay. Calling this thing throws an empty instance. The class predicate name you can use to test whether a caught error was of that type. Oh, so like, is it a name? Is it a not found? Is it a your name for error here? Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Right? It's just a semicolon at the end. Yeah. You probably have to import errors, but that's fine. Or is it in kernel, maybe? I don't know. Let's try not doing that. So yeah, I think I defined that properly. I guess errors are first-class citizens, so you don't need to import any extra vocabulary. Yep. Okay. If you're better than humidity too high. Right? I don't know why you have to import math just to get like greater than less than tests. It's like, come on. Question. When we do a when, do we always eat the boolean? So some context, a boolean, and a true quotation gives you the context. So yeah, it does eat the boolean. Mm-hmm. So what do you say? Your stack effect declaration is wrong. Really? Oops. 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 My bad. Okay. Okay, it's the same, except 500. Temperature too high. I see. So it's like, do a check temperature, and then do a check humidity, and then you're done. But if something goes wrong, drop the error. Depending on which one throws, we might have different stack effects. We could do like check the temperature, drop the error, drop the humidity reading, and then machine error. I feel like this is ugly. How would we make this not ugly? The problem is coming from when the first check fails, there's still a humidity reading on the stack. When the second check fails, there's nothing on the stack. We can, I think a clean way to do it would be to just do this. Name your parameter. Right? And then it's just this. But really that means it's just this. Push the temp to the stack, check it. Push the humidity to the stack, check it. If all that works, everybody's happy. If anything happens, we drop the error that was thrown and we throw a machine error. I'm okay with that. It looks right to me. I know it says failed, but that's the next test. So really we need a reading to a true or false from a what would have been a throw. It's like machine error count if. I forget if it's count if or count. Yeah. It's in sequences. So we just need to transform this like readings array to a value or the error that was thrown. The readings are going to be in an array, right? Yeah, so I need to split it apart. This is like, don't catch the error, just leave it on the stack. I mean, you can do like the first and second thing, but that's a lot of quotation. I feel like there ought to be a helper. How do you unarray? What would it be called? It would be called maybe it would be in the sequences vocabulary. See, this is where I want something like Google, where I can put in like a stack effect and search by that. Because it would be like, given a sequence, give you two elements. It would be a little bit like this. Yeah, that's not what I want. Hmm. I pop pop, right? Why? What's the difference between cut and cut star? Amounts to the difference between head and head star. Oh, it's like the yeah, all the elements of seek until the nth element from the end, from the end, where this is the first n elements. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can just use like first and second, but like, ugh. Ooh, this is it. I knew they would have it. And this is in sequences. Okay. So it's like, give me the first two of the thing. The first is humidity, the second is temperature. So we'll process temperature first, and then humidity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's give that a whirl. Fails to compile. Hmm. when you map over something and you don't, well, I guess it's just whatever's on the stack is what's going to be considered the return value, which is interesting. Yeah. Put a 1 there. Otherwise, we'll put a 0. And then this is not count if machine error, it's just sum. Is that not a word itself? Like, there's like a, not this. It's really a reduce operation, right? But 0 plus reduce is just sum. Oh, I need to run it and then sum it. Dar. So this has, oh, but it needs to do, no, we need to map it. So this is odd because recover takes 2 quotations. This one gets an element, right? Yeah. Hmm. Do we have to drop the value that would have been consumed? I guess. Yeah. Why did I not see it that way? Now I imagine there's a continuations word for run this. Oops. Um, run this quotation and give me back like a maybe error. Given a sequence and a quotation that takes an element gives you an object. Give me that object. If that ain't a mouthful, I don't know what is. What? Immediately after which this word would return and allows calling the return in quotation. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I see. Keep trying until you don't throw, kind of a thing. Oh, this throws an attempt all error. What? There's probably a way to do it. Hmm. Well, we could probably just submit it. Is there like a map sum though? Well, there you go. Map dash sum. Lovely. Um, I'm still not particularly pleased with this. Like, I just want to increment a counter in this case and not increment it there. We could do it like um, monitor throws. Um, right? And then it's like first to map monitor throws count. It's really that, right? It's like filter and then take the length, but it should just be count. I'm gonna use this though. Yeah, it's the monitor throws doesn't do it. So drop the error that happened, and then we're fine. No. Free drop? Yeah. Because we're dropping the air, the temp, and the humidity. This gets called with the same input that this gets called. Plus an error. We don't have to put inline there because we're not taking the quotation that we're calling as a parameter. We actually have the static quotation. I think. I think that's why we don't have to call inline or add inline. I think that's a bit of a cleaner solution. I like it better. So it should pass an error runner. Yay. Okay. That we don't already have quotations in call as like a understood concept is like probably a bug in their concept graph. We need to learn quotations before we learn conditionals. Like, yeah. Hey, Gatuno Neptuno, or Gatuno Neptuno. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm playing around with Factor, which is this like stack-based language, and this platform exorcism.org, which is actually really cool. And I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it before, like a month ago. But it's like uh, a curated set of exercises to help you learn a language, like a coding programming language, and it's got like a built-in mentorship system where kind of experts in the language can look at your solution to the exercise and give you tips about like, yes, this works, but the more idiomatic way is to do it this, that, and that, and like why. And it's all like free. So that's pretty sweet. Mhm. See, why is this being? I guess they introduced this because it's going to be useful for the exercise, but it's really not to do with the concept of quotations and call. Like, so we already covered quotations, but we're down here in quotations and call. Well, let's see what their exercise is about. Okay. What are you up to, Gatuno Neptuno? Hope you're doing well. Went for a tea. Oh, welcome back. You're fine? Good. But yeah, I'm doing some like learning of this language called Factor using this platform called exorcism.org, which is pretty sweet. The Golang game that I'm working on, it's on pause. I kind of got bored slash distracted by it. Uh, so hopefully I can still get it across the finish line. But right now I want to do more like uh, contracting and maybe learning and stuff. Like um, the game was never gonna make any money, um, and I kind of want to branch out a little bit to see if I can make some dollars. Not that I'm gonna make any dollars here, but I think the kind of the overarching goal for this is like contribute and uh, improve exorcism.org and use that as a talking point on a resume or whatever. But it's also just fun. So there's that. Take two values from the stack, add them, push it, return the new stack. Just brag about AI. That would work. Yeah, it would work, and that it would work at that place would be the indicator that I don't want to work at that place. if they can't tell the Kool-Aid from the uh, yeah, if they can't distinguish the hype from like what's real, then they're lost. I'm actually looking forward to like the AI bubble crash, where like all the tokens and all the AIs are going to be too expensive for anyone to use anyways, and so all these like projects will be like half done and all vibe coded, and they're not going to get finished because their AI system they used to build it is gone, but they still have deadlines to hit. That's when you can really rake them over the coals, and they've already fired their dev team because they had this AI to make it all. It's going to be fertile grounds for cleanup and like project saving. Not that I would wish that on anyone, but that's going to happen. So, assuming the AI bubble pops. Wishing for the same. I'm wishing for more realistic expectations and honesty around what companies are going to offer, what companies are going to depend on for uh, development and that kind of thing. Like right now, it's just the people who have a vested interest in hyping up their companies are telling people that you could do anything, and people are just eating it up. You don't know how much collateral damage there will be, like an actual crash. That wouldn't be fun. I agree. I agree. Um, Hopefully, we can do like a gradual kind of like kill off the complete slop stuff, and that acts as a signal for people to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't totally pin our business on this unproven technology and like vaporware promises. To some extent, it's always been like that, right? There's always been things out there promising the world, but people have been skeptical. But with AI, people are more easily convinced that there's capability there that's not proven out yet. I keep getting distracted. Okay. So there's an array on the stack. We need the first two. Um, we need to like unclip, I think. Now I know they said head star. It does not actually modify the sequence though, right? Yeah, because suffix um, returns a new sequence, right? A new sequence. So it's like dupe uh, last two plus suffix. I think last two is probably in sequences. Have you ever played with Factor or Forth or any of these stack-based languages? PostScript as well is like a is it prefix or postfix notation uh, thinger, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, we need to. I feel like head star is kind of blah. Not really. Not really, as in not at all, or you've looked at it and then never did it. Been programming for 5 years now, and it didn't make any CSV or something. Yeah, they don't. They didn't cover any of this in computer science when I went to school, and they probably wouldn't today either. Um, it's just another language, right? And instead of typical like 1 plus 2, you do 1, 2, and then a plus, and there's this like implicit data stack that everything gets pushed to and popped from. Not to be confused with this like application stack to manipulate. But yeah, we're gonna have to do something like um, head start to head star and last two. I always forget which um, which version of the by combinator to use. I think it's this one. It'll run this on the thing and it'll run this on the thing, and then it'll push the results in that order. So we'll add the two things that got popped, and then we'll stick it back on the new sequence. Yeah. Okay. Like stack on stack on stack. Yeah, stacks all the way down. All right. And I'm gonna get sick of this pattern, so I'm gonna have to abstract that, I think. But let's look at the next thing. So there's a multiply op. Yeah. Take two. And the nice thing um, about POSIX notation is that refactors like this are really easy. It's just take a sequence of tokens, give them a name, and then refer to that name, and it'll just work. That's something that blew my mind about recursion, applying logic on the post recursion. Yeah, post recursion. What's post recursion? I think I just don't know that word or that term. So tests are still passing, and we got all the way to this test. Yeah. So it's like take two, dip, then call with a and a B to a C, and then suffix. Post step. Applying logic on the post step. I don't think I get it, but I'm sure it's just a hard to describe in text kind of thing. Like when you come back from recursion. Oh, okay. So like you do a recursive call and then uh you get to like you start popping the function calls. Yeah, yeah. When you come back from recursion, you can kind of just assume magic happened, that it recursed down as far as it needed to, and that now you're in a state where that sub problem was solved. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, and you use the value that came back from that recursive call to finish up your piece of the sub problem. Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, it is. It does blow the mind, kind of, the first like for a while, and then you kind of like assume it and like get used to it, and then you really think about it again, and it blows your mind even more. Yeah, yeah. Is dip not what I thought it was? No, dip is what I want. What I want. So it's like instead of swap, do a thing swap. They should call take two on that stack. And then we should have the stack, the two values, and an operation. Well, hold on. Let's use the REPL to our advantage. Right? So take two, yep, takes a stack, and then it produces a new stack, a first value and a second value. Yeah. Yeah. And then so what does take two dip look like? All right, I'll let you stare at that. I'll be right back. All right. So, pardon me. What it's saying is that this is actually going to take two things and produce four things. New stack first, second. Oh, yeah. But it's like, because of the dip, um, this X is like the stashed and then restored, and then the stack becomes new stack first and second. Yeah. So right now it's uh really it's the context stack, the first, the second, and the op. The op should be a quotation of like A and a B to C, right? And then we can call the operation. It'll pop A, B, push C. So then it should be op result. But you're saying, what are you saying? That the apply operation didn't work. Oh, I'm doing the pops that I don't need to. The op is not typed as A and a B to C, it's typed as a stack to stack. Hmm? So if you put an array of 3, 4, a quotation that will itself call add op, and you apply it, it should be like saying 3, 4 add op. We just need to call it. What? Okay. Sure. It's like it's like the it's not the each word. It's something similar. It's like cleave. Except I don't want it to be against the original stack. I want it to be against like the result stack. Uh, it's really like call each. We have a stack. We have a sequence of operations. We're going to call Mhm. Mm. Is it just apply each? Apply op each? It is. um, I hate that I just like stole Reddit and that's why it's working. It's like we have stack and an operation to a new stack. When we have a sequence of operations, we do it for each. Like, I'm trying to build my intuition for this. Um, each is like map, except you drop. Yeah, drop that. You drop the return value from the quotation. So you would end up with an empty sequence. Okay. Can't be that. If we give it a name that's not mapped, Probably have to swap this. So this will take a thing from names, put it on the stack, and then call this quotation. We'll want to swap that name below the assoc, call at to look up the operation, and that's going to make a new sequence. We have to nip out the operations hash map. What if we did swap So this binds the operations hash map, closes over it. What kind of business am I targeting? Like, where does this language fit? This language doesn't really fit as an offering, except maybe for people who do like embedded work with Forth. Forth is like the precursor to Factor. You can think of like um, C is to Java as Forth is to Factor. But I think like there's not a great justification for why this would support my business, but um, basically this working on this and streaming it might help me get my name out there as someone who can figure stuff out and teach things. If that makes sense. Did I not need to import Fry? Or like use the Fry vocabulary? It's in syntax. So I guess the syntax vocabulary is automatically included? Automatically used? Oh. Do we want to do integer arithmetic or We'll just do generic. Hey, look at that. All my tests pass. To be honest, I don't think there are a lot of talent hunters watching Twitch, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, they're not. um, I guess I'm not targeting talent hunters so much as uh, people who are interested in enough in what my stream title would be to come take a look. You know, if they've got uh, you can imagine they work at a company and they work for a team, and then that team needs to take on a new technology. Like they all of a sudden they've got to learn Kubernetes, or all of a sudden they've got to learn uh, you know, Elm or Haskell. Um, I could imagine doing like a course or uh, walking through it with them or what have you. Um, like I said, not a great business case. This is mostly just for fun, but you never know. If you want to learn just for fun, that would be okay too, for sure. Yep. So another cool thing about exorcism.org is you can look at other people's solutions. Um, with with is the it's like the combinator version of the fried quotation that I used. So um, it's like you have some value you want to close over an object to work on and a piece of code you want to do things. So the code closes over the parameter. Yeah. Curry binds the element below its quotation as its first argument. With binds the second element below quotation as the second argument. Yeah. All right. All right. So whether you use swap and a curry thing like this or swap at curry, you can do it. There's always another way to do it, but the with here is pretty nice. Yeah. So very similar to my solutions. I believe this person is the one who wrote the track, and then other people came along with their own solutions of if zero. What is this? Oh, that's handy. So instead of dupe zero when, I can do like a there's if zero, there's when zero, unless zero. So take two. It's a division by zero error when it's zero. Otherwise, divide and suffix it back. Huh. With dash data stack. What is that? What kind of development would I like to do? I think it's like less about what kind of development and more about like the what kind of efforts do I want to support. So I want to support things that are like open source and kind of um, communal, like this exorcism.org. I want to support things that help people learn code, things that help people get coding done. So like contributions to compilers or uh, to languages or tooling or even like a lot of documentation stuff. Um, yeah, so I guess it's less about like the kind of development and more about the kind of goals, the kind of like causes or reasons, if that makes any sense. For example, like uh, code review sucks. Like I hate code review, um, and a lot of other people do too. And it's just not. It's the best thing we have for the problem of how do you make sure that changes are applied intentionally and with like an audit trail and like a spurring conversation. Like, is there another way to do code review that would be better? Like, you can imagine uh, like a code review platform that has you do a synchronous call with your reviewer. And forgive me if I use the buzzword, but you know, you have AI summarize a transcript of it, and then that's the kind of artifact from the code review. But you can make your edits there. You can just do synchronous interaction with a human being to do the code review instead of leaving comments and suggesting patches and all of the all of the like slowdown you get from the back and forth of the asynchronous part of the code review is just terrible. And like if you would if you could just sit down with somebody and talk to them, talk through it with them, you'd be able to just do it. Um, that's not done right now, I think, because you know you can't always guarantee someone's available when you need them to be available, and so much information and context and like decision making would happen in conversation and wouldn't get captured unless you had a transcription bot uh, taking notes and such. Um, so you know, building that would be super cool. And if somebody wants to pay me to do that, or like, uh, you know, if we start like an open review project and you know build that, that'd be cool. To, like run it off donations or some kind of ad revenue or something. But um, yeah, building things that make coding and development uh, easier, make developers' lives easier. That'd be nice. But yeah, with DataStack, this is like it's kind of like exactly what you would want for this exercise. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus with DataStax, star with DataStack, call. this is this exercise becomes like a no-op when you know about with DataStack. That should be a state-funded initiative, I guess. Yeah, it's contributing to things like the Sovereign Tech Fund. Like it's a EU thing, and I'm in Canada, but like I honestly don't know why Canada's not like a signatory or like a contributor to that yet. But um, those kinds of things would be super nice. You think I'd like to mentor? I would. Yeah, that's another thing that drew me to exorcism is that you can mentor other people, um, which is I like doing that. But yeah, I think one of the things I wanted to do today was actually submit a PR to Exorcism to fix something that I found that I didn't like about it, what they were doing. Um, yeah, I want to do tab completion for their command line client. So they have a bit of tab completion, but they don't they don't let you know which tracks exist via tab completion, and they don't let you know which exercises exist via tab completion. And I wish they did. Um, that would be nice to be able to contribute. Um, I could try like teaching at regular institutions. If it's not for you, at least gets you paid. Yeah. Uh, but you get my point. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I think like one of the things I need to do is reach out to somebody at the university in town and talk to them about like with AI completely changing how everyone's doing their assignments and what are they doing? What do they need to be doing differently? And like what needs building or test driving or hands on deck to build to kind of update the curriculum to still be relevant, still be useful, and not be gamified or cheated on so easily. I guess I just don't have any leads into that world right now, but leads, I don't connections. I don't have any people I know that are in that world right now. But I was hoping to reach out to people in my local Linux users group. There's a few uh, university folk there. Um, I don't know how hard this would be. I guess the people who wrote the track didn't do it, and so that might be an indicator that it's not simple. Um, but hey, look, Golang. Um, ah, if not okay. Um, why not that? How did that not find factor? Like every track is listed either way. Is it just is it coming in the next version? Oh, it's coming in a new version. So they'll do it. It'll show up when they release the next thing. Okay. Well, that was easy. It would be sweet, and it's coming. Um, this I don't think is coming. It's a bit of a bigger change, I think. It would have to do with customizing the like Cobra tab completion. This might be a thing. It was in. There was some hidden directory somewhere. There's no like. Oh yeah. Each exercise has a dot meta and a dot docs. Hey, crazy! Long time no see, indeed. We're off on new adventures. uh, so right now I'm playing around with a language called Factor and a platform called Exorcism. Um, it's like this free open source kind of platform where uh, you can learn different languages by looking at and working through examples. And then you can see other people's solutions to those examples, and you can. I think the real like key part is that you can get mentorship from like an expert in the thing in that language uh, to like work out all like the idioms and like the find the way to do things the way professionals in that language do things. So like there's always a different way to do something, right? You can there's 18 different ways to do any single thing, but like when you're say in Haskell or Erlang, when you're in Erlang, there's going to be certain ways to do accumulate that uh, are like the typical way. And so you can look at other people's solutions and, you know, understand how they approached it. But you can also ask an expert to like review your code and tell you uh, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. Basically, get code review from them um, to help you get intuition, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool platform, and I want to try to help uh, if I can. And right now, I'm looking at there's this exercise that uh, had some like markup in it. It's like I'm sure they run doc tests over the explanations, and they're using this to skip that this shouldn't that this throws that fails. It should be okay, but I don't think this should get shown to like me to like the user. So is there a way I can fix that? Let's find out. Yeah, it is really cool. Where's this factory failsafe? Oh, it's two levels deep. Oh, I see. It's in this hidden directory. I've seen I've seen this show up in things before. Does it show up again? Yes, it does. Now, are there other ways? Are there other examples of things where there was a throw in the markdown that they want to suppress the doc test but didn't render? We might be able to find that with this. Mm-hmm. Yes, which is good. But when we render the markdown to some kind of HTML, we should strip out lines that say bang doc test step. Now, do they have examples where they were able to not render that? Bleh. Concepts streams. Oh, looky here. Streams introduction. Oh, I bet it's. No? So where would one find this? Hmm. That's what this one is. No, that's not what this one is. I think my intuition is telling me that, in fact, they don't have a methodology for skipping the skips. Lasagna Luminary. Yeah. So then I guess the question is, how do they go from Markdown to this? It would be in Julia. Yeah. What is the value of a concatenation language over a functional language? Is it performance? Um, I think the concatenative and functional are like orthogonal uh, dimensions. Like whether something is functional or not is independent of whether something's concatenative or not. Um, factor does like buy into like functional paradigms. Um, you know, data as code or code as data, and passing around callables and immutable values, that kind of thing. Um, I think concatenative is really just a syntactic uh, paradigm where you do postfix notation. So like it's op func. So like all your arguments up front, and then you name your uh, the function you want to call. Um, it ends up reading kind of like a Unix pipeline if you're familiar with that, which is nice. Um, but yeah, there's no um, you could write a concatenative language that's functional that would outperform or not outperform arbitrary language here. Like, um, am I making any sense? Hopefully, I'm making some sense. But yeah, give me. Eh, So you can make MD files from template files. Uh, how make HTML? I don't think that's where I want to go. How do I? How do thing? Yeah, it makes sense. You just read the wiki, so your knowledge on the topic is very limited. Yeah, no worries. It's not. I would say it's an underrepresented paradigm, but I get it that people don't like gobbledygook. Um, Yay, configlet. Okay, yeah. Markdown. Mhm, mhm. Okay, yeah. All right, so generating documents. Well, I gotta get going. Um, Presumably it's somewhere. Okay, okay. It's a Rails app. Hey, I use Windows Subsystem for Linux. Okay. So if I was a Rails app and I had a bunch of Markdown to render as HTML, how would I do it? I'd use a library. Probably don't want to look at this. Ew, Claude. I mean, I guess we could look through the views till I find. Hmm. This is a thing where you should ask someone who knows. Uh, but yeah, I gotta get going. I used Wizzle at work until I found out that I could not clean my Docker builds correctly and blew up with virtual memory. Could not clean your Docker builds correctly. You mean like... Oh, I have a... Okay, so my guess is that... Go Linux, yeah. Um, my guess is that you were doing like Docker RMI to like get rid of intermediate image builds and stuff. But mayhap it was still open somewhere in some context, so that the actual like on disk image wasn't reclaimed, but it was like a temp or like a temp FS where you're writing these images, and so it actually used the RAM. I'm at home, but works in .NET, so a lot of Windows. Yeah. Yeah. .NET is like probably my biggest blind spot. It's like for how popular it is, I haven't done frig all with it, but um, yeah. I think I will have to call it there. Um, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you again next time. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid. Uh, Twitch software. Eduardo. Yeah, let's raid Eduardo. Yeah, see you later, Gatuno. If I can hopefully set up raiding. How do I Twitch again? Thanks, Gatuno. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see if we can raid.